So yeah, the session today, cultural familiarisation. So we've looked at with South Australia and the local environment, because obviously that's the place that you develop your networks. You know, having come from elsewhere, obviously one of the most obvious and difficult things you must feel continuously is that loss of network, whether it's family, friends, connections with professions, interest groups or whatever. So there's got to be a conscious project of rebuilding those things. And that's kind of what that is about, isn't it? That process. Long, hard process. No doubt you'll join, if you found an interesting group on Meetup, you might join it and it wasn't what I thought it was. Nicole, you had an interesting story. You were telling me just about the...
Yes.
Do you want to tell others?
Yeah, we joined a group for the Australian Day. It was this year. And we weren't aware of the fact that most people were single in this group. So it was quite funny because I didn't split up with my husband, but because there are so many people and I became engaged with some of them and my husband with those. And I saw...
You got engaged? That was pretty quick singles work.
Don't you say engaged? Yeah, you say...
Engaged. Yeah, I just...
And it was quite funny because I saw my husband, encircled
yeah.
of women.
Encircled by women.
By women, yeah. Most of them, they had already children, but got divorced. So it was quite funny. And whenever he wanted me to join him to meet those people, they were obviously disappointed when they realized that I was his wife, actually. So there's many women out there.
Right.
Yeah.
So there you go, guys. Right? Remember that? Australia Day next year. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know, some groups are not what you think, or even if they are what you think, the people in them, you don't click. You don't have rapport. Remember that word, rapport? Good relations and whatever.
Get along.
Yeah. Now you go to another group and you have this really fantastic time, you know. But it's what we call, you know, it's just trial and error, isn't it? So probably there's a certain success rate, and it might be, you know, 40% success rate. So be prepared to go to these things, and I'd give it more than one go because different people come different times.
Yeah.
And you know, over time, 3 or 4 times, then assess it and say, all right, not worth it, or this is really good, or whatever, and keep exploring using these resources, and just over the next few months, hopefully, out of all those attempts, something will appear. My point is, obviously, it's a long and, you know, can be a painful and frustrating process, but out of it, occasionally you strike gold, don't you? And then, if you do, that can last for quite a long time, sometimes a number of years, and even permanent kind of connections with people. So that's obviously what you have to do now over the next few years is establish, rebuild those kind of similar networks. And as I've said, the Australian city and suburb isn't conducive to means encouraging, conducive, ducere, to lead. It doesn't lead easily to friendships, relationships. The suburbs are fairly isolating. So even a native Australian has to do this kind of conscious work, you know, through interest groups or sports groups or whatever, to connect with people who they get on with and just kind of share their language, emotional language, I mean. Okay, so we've looked at Meetup, or even just Googling your interest group and putting in Adelaide or your suburb. The other thing that you could try is volunteering, and I have some links there. If we look at...
Just the next one.
Yeah. I'll see if our thing is working. You're still getting a blank, are you?
Yes.
Yep. Alright. Don't know why. Have a look at the screen then. Sorry about that. I did try to change it, but it didn't work. Volunteering SA is one of the groups. Again, you could Google, put in your topic and volunteering and put in Adelaide. You might get something that's different from this website. But this website tries to sort of coordinate volunteers across the city and South Australia and the Northern Territory. So many elements on the website, but search volunteer vacancies, click here, and just put your, I know there are some medical people in the room, so you know, if you were looking to volunteer for something to do with the medical scene, then, okay, 18 connections, Flinders Medical Centre Foundation, Confident, looks like a fundraising thing for the Flinders Medical Centre. What else have we got? Medical volunteer. These camp quality things are sort of like holiday camps for kids. They want volunteers there. Social support volunteer, volunteer drivers for medical appointments, and so on and so forth. Have a look through there. If you like one of those things, let's try it, that one. You get more information, express interest. And I think there's a form that you fill out, yeah. Blah, blah, blah. Home phone number, give your background, tick the boxes basically, send. That goes to Volunteering SA. They have a look at what's there, get back to you, you know, if you meet the criterion. So basically what they are is all various community groups send their information of what sort of volunteers they want to this office. This office is, I think it says down the bottom, you can go there face to face. It's very close, it's in Victoria Square. It's on the east side, beautiful old building on the east side, sort of white stone building, called the Torrens Building. And they're in there. You can go and book an interview with them, and they'll find out all about your skills and your background. This is probably the best thing to do, go face to face. Have a chat with them, and they'll record your skills, and then they'll look on the database and see which organisations are looking for somebody with those skills and match you up that way. So you can explore through this, but I think there's really probably no substitute for going along. You could make an appointment by ringing those numbers, 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, and go and have a chat with them and see what's available. So that's Volunteering SA, and that link is there. There.
Which topic?
We're in Further Pathways. That one,
Yeah.
number 15, just below the the interest groups one. The other local link, that one unfortunately is dead. That link, I'm going to take it out. I'm just going to go to this one, SA Comment, because we're on sort of local information, and I guess connecting up culturally is about getting to know your city well, what's on in it, what events are on. This guy, for a number of years now. It's not a very nicely made website, but it's actually got quite a lot of information. If he's obviously into music, so you can click on these things and get like, these are all the music festivals that are coming up in October and November. He's got, I'll just go back. This thing here, which is a bit weird, you have to sort of click on this moving target. Oh my God, don't do it when you've had a few beers. All right, now if you get, click on that, you get, he's been very hard working. You've got August, these are all the events in Adelaide and suburbs in August. So what are we today? We're now, yeah, so that was probably what was on during the weekend there. Mainly music, but yeah, Royal LA shows coming, of course. Take the kids. Yeah, it's mainly music, but he's got other things in there. Country show, etc. Okay, so that's there. However, this link here, have a look here, South Australia, see that link? If you click that, he's got quite a nice list of Adelaide activities. It's in alphabetical order. So you've got the Aquatic Centre for swimming in North Adelaide, Central Market, he's just got the details, when these things are open, All kinds of stuff he's got. Some of I've never heard of. He's done his research just about all sorts of little local groups, and like Monarto Zoo. When it's open, there's the phone number. The Botanic Gardens. Who's been to Mount Lofty Botanic Gardens? They're pretty nice.
I've been to Monarto Zoo.
Yeah. Museums. He's got quite a good list of museums there. That's a pretty interesting one. I don't know if you've been to that. It's out Tailem Bend, beyond Murray Bridge. And this guy, some kind of eccentric character, has got a whole lot of old houses from around the country that are movable, like real old ones, like hundreds of years old. Put them on trucks, moved them and created this village, and then filled them up with furniture and old things from like 50 to 100 years ago. And you've got this town that's just full of kind of, a lot of it's rubbish, but some of it's, I think he's obsessive, you know, one of these people who just collects, and he's probably filled his own house up, so he just gets another old house and fills it up with more stuff, you know. But there's a lot of pretty interesting stuff in there. It's worth a visit sometime, etc., etc. So, you know, if you're looking for places to go and do things, then you've got tourist activities and different times of the year, and wildlife sanctuaries, etc. Yeah, so on and so forth. Got a whole markets, the monthly markets. So these are like, what are they? Are they Sundays? Fortnightly markets, right. Yeah, that's a pretty good list of markets. Some markets are pretty interesting around the place. The Wayville Market's pretty nice. Who goes to the Wayville Market? Yeah, it's at the back of the showgrounds, isn't it, on Leader Street. That's worth. And the new one down at Brompton's kind of interesting. So, yeah, theatres, etc. And so on and so forth. There's a whole lot of. That's probably one of your best sites for just local information, what's on, what do I do Sunday afternoon with the kids, there you go. And you know, just by those little visits you pick up little bits of history and culture and so on, which is all useful. Okay, have a look at those for a minute. So, have a look in volunteering essay and just explore that essay comment and see what you find of interest there.
Ghost crime tour.
Ghost?
Yeah.
Ghost crime tour? Ah, yeah.
No.
Okay. CBD, okay.
That's really interesting.
One thing, it's similar to that, Adelaide Jail. It's just where the new hospital is being built, just another 100 metres, the old stone jail there. They have tours there on Sundays, I think. And very interesting insight into the history of the city through exploring the jail. Obviously jails represent and demonstrate a lot about a city's social composition. Yeah. Melbourne jail's a really good visit. If you're ever in Melbourne, go to Melbourne Jail. Really interesting. They have all the old cells, and they have a little story of at least one person who was in each cell and their life, their kind of biography. And it's a window into the nature of 19th century Melbourne. Absolutely really worthwhile.